it's rolling. Obviously, we'll cut it.
That's a worry. Yeah.
Tune into Is It Fast live every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. GMT. You are welcome.
Hi, I'm Daniel Rowbottom, racing the British Touring Car Championship with Team Dynamics, and you're watching Is It Fast?
Hi guys, it's Nick Hamilton, and you're watching Is It Fast?
It's 7 p.m. It's a Wednesday. Must be time for Is It Fast.
PM, it's a Wednesday. Must be time for Is It Fast? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Is It Fast Live, the weekly program from the team at Is It Fast, where we handpick some of our favourite stories from the world of motorsport, automotive, and what we're now calling lifestyle, because we are down with the kids. And we mull them over, write up some notes, and bring them to you all live. If you're listening to us, thank you very much. Make sure that you continue to subscribe and share us using your podcast downloading software of choice. If you're watching us, then hello, there's a real way for you. Remember, if you're watching us live, tell us what you think of the subjects that we are covering today. If you're not watching us live, we're not here to read them, so be as mean as you like, because we know that's what you like to do on the internet. I can't do this on my own. This has been evident over the last, I don't know what episode we're on now. Is this number whatever from whatever?
I think this is episode 40. Certainly.
Is it episode 40? Wow.
Yeah.
The number that you're nearer than I. And that's right.
Wow.
It's how I introduce. Oh, it's going to be a catty episode. Are the Stu's here to make sure that he rebuttals that horrible thing. How are you, Stu? You all right?
I'm very well, thank you, Stu. Got a little bit hurt by that. But with my advanced years, if I knew how to kind of put an angry comment online, I probably would. Yeah, I am, of course, other Stu, and I'm delighted to be here with Amazon Prime Stu on the weekly Is It Fast podcast. Thanks for having me back, mate. Now, I do have to get a bit of a gripe off my chest. You know what? I think it is very rude for someone to get into my car and think that they can sing the lead vocals. When you get in my car, all I want to hear is the oohs and the ahs of the backups. Like, I've got the rest, baby, genuinely. So just a little bit of a heads up. I'm sure there's other drivers out there that feel the exact same. So I thought I'd put that out there for the people that are listening. But we've actually had a few folk recently asking us, well, how do I listen to the podcast? Well, if you're listening to this segment, you've pretty much got it. Just good job. Keep going the way you are. And on that note, welcome to Is It Fast?
Well done. You're the clever ones.
Hi, I'm Lewis Kent, and you're watching Is It Fast?
There is an awful lot to go through this week. We're pretty eclectic in terms of topics. So if you're a fan of vans, electric vans, which is a funny story about that. WTCR, the BSB Miami Grand Prix. It's the last time we're going to talk about this. We've talked about it for the last 3 weeks. We're not going to talk about it anymore. The number of people buying cars and a bit more. So on that note, we had news confirmed over the last week or so. Ford showed us the brand new E-Transit Custom. It's very, very exciting. So all of the world, every manufacturer near enough, moving towards the EV world, making sure that by some point in the future that their range becomes electronic. We forget about commercial vehicles in this transition, or I certainly do. And Ford have brought this, the E-Transit. So the Ford Pro accelerates its drive towards electrification by unveiling the all-electric successor to Europe's best-selling van and UK's best-selling vehicle, the all-new Ford E-Transit Custom. Yes, I read that directly from their press release. The E-Transit Custom promises unmatched customer experience and maximum productivity. Again, read directly from their press junket. But a range of up to 236 miles, full towing capacity, DC fast charging, and unique ProPower onboard features. We don't know much more than this. More details are going to be announced in the September of this year, with production beginning in 2023. Apparently, it's being made in Turkey, which I thought was quite an interesting thing to say. But the Ford e-Transit Custom. I like a Transit, just so we're clear. I enjoy a Transit. I didn't realise it was the UK's top-selling vehicle, like full stop.
Yeah, bit of a funny one, isn't it? Totally outsold the UK's best-selling car, the Vauxhall Corsa, by a comfortable margin of about 25% last year. So still number one for arrogant driving, fly tipping, and kidnapping. It's absolutely brilliant. There as well. Glad you were halfway through taking a drink there for anyone who's not actually watching this. But yeah, the press images look exactly like what a transit van looks like, minus all the dents and scrapes, which I thought just came as standard off the factory floor. Or certainly that's what the one my dad drove looked like. But he said he got it in that condition, so I'll believe him. Yeah. Ford yet to reveal anything for the interior or give us the full tech spec of it, but says the battery will be capable of the DC fast charging and will have full towing capabilities. The e-Transit Custom reckon 0 to 62 in 7 seconds, top speeds of 85 miles an hour. They're going to release more details in about September, they reckon. Price guide round about £40,000.
Right.
Really interesting. I've no idea why they've kind of released these images in like this lovely kind of teal sky blue though. Bit random. You don't necessarily think of a van this color. Maybe makes it jump out a little bit more. But it is basically transit van shape. It's what you'd expect to see.
Yeah.
The front grille very much looks like something you'd see in the background of a Jamiroquai video as well. So that's quite interesting. But it will do well. Businesses tend to just look at and stick with what's known, what's cheapest. So yeah, they just need to really get themselves some on-site charging, and they're good to go.
Yeah, I think so. It looks very transity. Like you say, I mean, presumably it comes in white, which is all that really matters. It's not gonna. You don't need it in that lovely blue. Although that said, I see lots more commercial vehicles being tarted up and given a bit more of a unique feel, which I'm not against.
I think the technical term is wrapped, not tarted up. Well, I wouldn't Google tarted up, mate. Yeah.
Tomato, but it's fundamentally, I think it's great. I like this. I often flirt with a van as a vehicle that I would like, because that great peep show quote, we could be men with then, and it makes. I just think they're really useful. I like the idea of them, but we'll see what happens.
You just want to restart the A team. You're fooling no one.
I mean, a team. More, but
do you think the side doors come with the electric slide?
I hope so.
Yeah,
that would be cool. That would be cool. I think the interiors will be quite good as well. I think Ford have done a good job with their interiors and their infotainment systems over the last few years. So they're very comfortable places to be, and they're the fastest things on earth at empty transit. So that's something to look forward to. Tell us what you think. Are you in the commercial van world? Do you need a van? Are you owning a van? Are you about to own a van? What do you think of the e-Transit Custom? I can't even remember what it was called now. That's terrible, isn't it?
That was it. Yeah.
The e-Transit. Are you thinking of it? I have seen a number of fleet managers over on LinkedIn, that other social media platform, talking about how they're looking forward to upgrading their fleets to this. So that's pretty encouraging, let's be honest. I think businesses are doing more than ever to be carbon neutral, and obviously the tax benefits are there for all to see. Not to mention the ecological benefits of doing such a thing. So there you go. The new e-Transit Custom from Ford. Tell us what you think.
Cat or dog? Summer or rain? Is it fast?
Aidan Moffat there, the Laser Tools Infinity driver in the British Touring Car Championship, answering questions I didn't ask him. having a grand old time. Didn't realise the cameras were running. That is, which is our MO, which is why we are in trouble. The world of touring cars. Now, for those people amongst us that are not aware, touring cars has a world championship. It's called the WTCR, the World Touring Car Cup Championship, Touring Car Racing. Anyway, WTCC, WTCR with WTCC. And it started last weekend. 17 cars on the grid at the historic street circuit of Pau. And they put on quite the show in southern France. Very exciting. We had a number of new drivers joining. If you're watching, oh my word! If you're watching, this is take number one, instantly taken out in the second race of the year. Absolute madness. WTCR visits all sorts of different places around the world. All sorts of different racetracks. I would highly recommend it if you're a fan of touring car racing, whatever description that you get involved. You've got Audis, you've got Lincoln Co's, which are the defending champions. That's a Chinese brand. Honda Civics, you've got Hyundai Elantras. It's incredible. And some of the best drivers in the world. 2 races at Pau on the Sunday took place. Pretty tight street circuit, so there wasn't really a lot that could really happen until the tyres came off towards the end of the half-an-hour race. The format, just so you're aware, 30 minutes of racing plus 1 lap. So once the time is extinguished, when you get to the end of your 30 minutes, you get the last lap, and that is when you are crowned the winner. So race number 1, Nestor Girolami came through in his Honda Civic Type R TCR car. Absolutely stonking drive, to be honest with you. Esteban Guerrieri second up, his teammate in the Honda Civic, and then Ivan Muller, who is a legendary touring car driver, coming in third in the Cyan Racing Lincoln Co. With the defending champion Jan Erlacher, who is his nephew, coming in fourth, and defending double champion, which was good. And then race 2, the reverse grade race. Mikel Escona, the reigning European TCR champion, coming in first in his Hyundai Elantra. He was in a Cupra Leon. There we go. Got there in the end last year, bringing home a win. Santiago Urrutia. I can speak Spanish. I don't know why I'm getting.
That's exactly how I would pronounce it. Yeah,
I don't know why I'm getting these. No, Santiago Urrutia. There you go. Uruguayan driver in his Lincoln Co. And then Ma Qinghua, got that wrong. Chinese driver for Lincoln Co. bringing up the third. So it's a great race. It was a good start to the season. Pau, it's great to watch. Kind of. It's a mad street circuit. More just watching these kind of touring cars do mad stuff. And bring on the next round. I think it's gonna be pretty hot going.
Is it your thing? So. I've really got into the TCR recently. Yeah, it's I'm less involved, obviously, in the world stuff because we've got such a great TCR competition in the UK. But some brilliant racing at the weekend. Very nice early charge for the Honda pair from Argentina. Pau is a fantastic track circuit, as you can have said. The hot conditions causing a lot of problems for many, many drivers, but the guys managed to manage their cars well in the conditions, and the pursuing kind of groups were really just kind of compacted behind them in that kind of first race as well. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Also, good shout out to is it Zengo Motorsports Rob Huff, who was in 14th place, but was the fastest driver in the actual race. So obviously quite compact, but we know where we're all going next. We absolutely love it. It's the Nürburgring. It's off to Germany. That's on the 28th of May. Definitely worth a watch. Brilliant.
Yeah, the Nürburgring's a tough one because it is pretty testing for a TCR car, so it's interesting. But yeah, shout out to Huffy there. Quick driver, maker of fantastic coffee. We actually have some of Rob Huff's motorsport coffee. It's him and a chap called Leon that have come together to create a brand called Motorsport Coffee. They're not paying us, but I have some of their coffee beans downstairs ready to grind and go for. And it's I've had some of their stuff before. Really good stuff. Looking forward. In fact, I think I've got the Nürburgring coffee downstairs. Might have a little blast on that later. Anyway, yes, WTCR back with a bang. Some are saying this is a make or break season. It's a smaller pack, a smaller grid than it has been over the last few years. Interesting to see where it goes from here. There's two teams there, the Lincoln Co and the Audi team, the Come To You Racing team that run the Audi cars, make up 8 of the grid. So it's quite a bit. I mean, I don't see beginning of the season. My prediction: I can't see past a third title for Enlacher. If I'm honest with you,
yeah, I've got to agree.
It's just big team. You know, they're all going to get behind him. That'll be that, I think. But time will tell. But did you watch the WTCR action from Poe at the weekend? What did you think? Is it make or break for this particular World Touring Championship? You know, it's come in many guises over the years. It's struggled on occasion. Is there enough left in the tank to see it over the line? Does this year need to be better than last year in order to push it? Does it need to make sure it goes over to the Far East and Australasia for it to be a truly global competition? At the moment, is it going to get to Asia? At the moment, yes. We'll see what happens. Lots of rumours abound as to what's going to happen with this championship throughout the rest of the year. It's exciting stuff, though. We like it. We like a bit. We like a bit of drama. Sure, we do.
You're tuned in to Is It Fast? And we're live, which is why it's so bad.
Just going to take a little trip to a championship that we don't talk about, and a motorsport. What should I call it? A motorsport tribe, which is two-wheeled, that we don't talk about an awful lot, but we should. Superbikes and MotoGP, obviously they're not the same thing, but we're just going to touch on the Bennett British Superbikes just ever so lightly tonight, because the season started a couple of months ago now. There's a couple of bits and bobs coming out to do with the BSB that we're very lucky to have been involved with. Is It Fast? A couple of images and stuff that we can't wait to share, but I can't talk about it too much. Stu, you've been involved. You've seen what we've been getting up to and the kind of interesting stuff.
It is exciting. Let's tease this a little bit more and then say, oh, but we can't do it.
It's good. But the BSB is back with a bang. The defending champion, this is one of the big things. The defending champion isn't riding at the moment. He's injured, which does happen when you ride superbikes around at 150 miles an hour. A lot of people fall off their bikes. It's quite a dangerous thing to do. But we just wanted to bring just an update on the BSB and share some of our thoughts, I guess, on the season so far. So just to put you in the frame, Bradley Ray is currently leading the championship. He's riding on a Rich Energy OMG Racing Yamaha. He's got 102 points. Glenn Irwin, a name that you may well be familiar with, riding for Honda, in second. He's got 96 points, so he's not a million miles away, is he? And Rory Skinner is in on an FS3 Racing Kawasaki, 86 points. So that's after the first 3 rounds, I believe, at the BSB. Next up is Donington in a couple of weeks, 10 days, I think. And there's all to play for. It's pretty interesting stuff. Now, I'll be honest, because of work clashes and other championship commitments, I've not actually managed to watch any of the BSB stuff live, but I managed to catch highlights and chat to some of the riders that we've been lucky enough to chat to. I don't really know your position, your leanings on bikes as a rule.
Well,
I know your leanings on the other one.
Yeah, well, you have to lean when you go around the corners. No, you know me and my bike, Stuart. I love my motorcycle. It's great for getting me to the front of the queues quicker. However, it does always terrify the other people in the post office. No, the guys on the super bikes are extremely brave, immensely talented, but overall completely nuts. I don't think they actually ride. I think they just fly really, really low. yeah, back to Donington for round 3 this year, which was also the venue for the second official test site, which was back at the end of March. So the guys know it well. The rust is well and truly off. And the teams have been able to make those kind of early adjustments to the bikes and tactics and things like that. So it's brilliant. Season well and truly underway. I love the track at Donington. It suits the British Superbikes absolutely perfectly. It gives a chance for the riders to really kind of open up down those straights. So, yeah, I think it's in about, 8 or 10 days' time as well. As you kind of correctly said, Bradley and Glenn kind of just out in front, Glenn just on his heels. Nothing to do with the speed of the bikes, more about the points. But there's only 22 points separating first and fifth right now. Now, okay, it's early stages. We've got 9 rounds to go, but it's still really anyone's to claim. So it is really exciting. I haven't sat and watched a live race in a while, again, due to other commitments, things like that, but the highlights are always brilliant. Yeah. These guys literally go kind of hell for leather on these things.
Hell in leather.
Yeah, hell in leather, very much so. Don't think you'd catch me on one of those things.
No.
Ripping it up at the levels that they do. So I salute them. Rather them than me, though.
100%. They're a different breed. They're a different breed. Incredible. I kind of put them in the same category as rally drivers. They're just absolutely insane. But yeah, we just wanted to. We haven't forgotten about the BSB or the World Superbikes or MotoGP for that matter. It's just there's been a lot going on, and I'm always honest. I'm because I'm not a bikeist. It's not always up there on my list, but it's incredibly well run, incredibly well supported, and the racing is a lot more exciting than some other racing championships on 4 wheels than I think we give it credit for. My other half is a huge bike fan. She absolutely loves the racing on 2 wheels. So whenever we get,
I'm so glad you put the word fan in after that.
That could have been bad. Tune in after dark. But yeah, it is incredible. So yeah, really please do get involved. Do he's off. He's gone. Do make sure that you tune in from Donington. I believe that the BSB is live on Eurosport. One of the few channels I've not been. I'm pumping my own ego here. One of the few channels I've not been on Eurosport, I think. Don't know why. Maybe because you need some talent. But there you go. BSB, have you been watching the British Superbikes? Do you have an early season favourite for the title? I don't know enough about it. I just want to see the right person win. I don't know what that means. But BSB, are you going to Donington for the BSB? That would be interesting. We were at Donington a couple of weeks ago for the British Touring Car Championship. It's a great venue, fantastic for racing of all sorts of sizes, shapes, descriptions, and in just everything. It's fantastic. Do let us know, because I would love to hear your opinion on it. The BSB, everybody. Bikes that should be ridden.
And now, some more stuff from Is It Fast. Yay!
Sentences that you start and you're not entirely sure where they're gonna end up.
That's what I do every day, yeah.
It's just life. We've spoken about the Miami Grand Prix. We did a build-up a couple of weeks beforehand, and then, of course, it happened. And it does feel like it was the Grand Prix most talked about of recent times in terms of will it, won't it, is it going to live up to the hype? I just want to very quickly talk about it, just to get people's sentiments, get people tuned in, and see what the general motorsport, fraternity felt about it. I have a few points. Okay,
go on.
It's unlike me to share my opinions, but I'm going to. First of all, I thought it was possibly the most American thing I've ever seen in my life, in terms of how it was conducted, the interviews. Chuck Leclerc. I mean, I'm just going to chuck that out there. What the hell was that about? Chuck Leclerc. Just call him Charles, mate. So that was fun. The podium, however, now that was something to behold. So first of all, the drivers got out of their cars, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to the end. the podium was pretty interesting. They were all dead on their feet when they got out. Max Verstappen, who won the race, by the way, if you've been living under a rock, Max Verstappen looked. So actually, you were right, by the way. You said that Verstappen was going to win, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I put it down to the straights. So,
yeah. He looked like he was going to pass out the whole way through because of the heat. Then they got put on golf carts and taken by police procession to the inside of the Hard Rock Stadium, where they could then go out and be presented the trophy by Dan Marino. It's like the whole thing was a bit of like a lucid teenage sweaty dream for me. Kind of Dan Marino, F1. It was all very weird. It was like, some sort of weird dream. And then instead of Pirelli caps, they were presented with Pirelli NFL helmets, which do you know what? Play up to it. Fair bloody play. Like, if you're going to do these things in America and all the rest of it, go for it. You can't have I thought this was actually quite a nice touch. I thought it was ridiculous.
But the thing is, how far have these images and footage of them in their American football or egg hand, as it's more commonly known, helmets, how far have they gone? So it's a great bit of marketing.
Yeah,
right in front of the big kind of Hard Rock Stadium sign. Yeah, brilliant. I'm willing to allow them that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely and totally agree. It was very, very, very... it was a bit clunky, but to people that say, it could have been better organised and blah, blah... Yeah, do you know what? It's the first Grand Prix this place has ever held as a venue. Like, give it a couple of years, man. Like, just let it bed in. So that was interesting. People say, no, it wasn't a very interesting Grand Prix. At 46 overtakes. So, that's 46 more than Monaco usually gets. So let's just all calm down. I thought it was quite good. If I'm honest. But the thing that, just before I hastily move us on, because we've got a lot to cover, did you see the grid walk?
Yeah, absolutely mental.
Now, we said this, didn't we?
Yeah.
We said it was going to be a grid walk from hell because everybody was going to be there. No idea what was going on. They brought all sorts of weird and wonderful people in. Madness.
It really was. I don't know what had more celebrities at it, the Met Gala ball or the F1. It was one of those kind of mental weekends. The Americans very much do know how to put on a show, and boy, didn't they. 82,000 fans packed out those grandstands. And how much, there you go, was a weekend ticket for this?
What, just a Bogo?
Yeah, Bogo, yeah. Yeah, you don't get to sit next to Tom Brady. And there was a brilliant picture of Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, David Beckham, and Lewis Hamilton. So I'll give them that.
That is
pretty
amazing,
cool.
isn't it? Yeah, that's pretty good. A Bogo weekend, I don't know, what, in dollars?
I've actually got it in pounds, amazingly.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
sorry.
Okay. I don't know, 1,400 quid.
Oh, actually, there's a bit of a bargain. We could both go for that almost. £875 for a weekend ticket.
Is that good or bad? I mean, it sounds expensive.
What is it for Silverstone for a weekend though?
Mate, do you know what?
No idea.
Truth be told, I've never.
We just get media passes, so we go everywhere for free.
Yeah. We just get media passes. Jeez, if only it was that easy. In fairness, though, we do have a fair few media passes. Thank you very much to all the championship support.
Yeah, we mostly sell them on, but thanks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on, man got to make money. I don't know. I've never been to a Grand Prix like for real. I've never really had an interest in going. I don't know. Maybe tell us in the comment. I mean, there's a couple of our writers have been. At isitfast.co.uk. Make sure you head over to the website, read all their fantastic articles. Jesse and Timo particularly love a Grand Prix. Ellie as well. Van Schitter, incredible knowledge on F1. There's incredible writers there to read. Just type F1 into our search bar on our website, and you can catch all of our content on that and the W series as well. Let's not forget. I don't know. Maybe 500 quid. It's impossible. I don't know. 800 quid still feels expensive to sit and burn in 50 degree heat in Miami, breathing 90% humidity air. Like, it's still a lot of money in it. Let's be honest. Plus,
It really is.
plus probably a tenner for a bottle of Heineken.
No, and the rest. But yeah, as you correctly said, Verstappen, worthy winner, coming home for the inaugural Miami Grand Prix, was able to pass Chuck Leclerc. That's just phenomenal, isn't it? Yeah. Early on, but he held off the challenge following a late safety car. To be fair, you have to remember Leclerc's lead over Verstappen was standing at 46 points just after Australia. Now it's down to 19.
Really?
That just shows there's a heck of a lot of season to go. A lot of people were writing off Verstappen straight away. That straight line speed for me is going to be the title defender for Red Bull.
Yeah, I agree.
For that there. But for the fourth time this season, Russell has finished above Lewis Hamilton. So maybe a little bit of luck on his side, but you know what? If you don't buy a ticket, you didn't win the raffle. I think Hamilton could be maybe a little bit braver. What I do want to say, actually, massive shout out to Alex Albon, who is 100% maximizing the potential out of that Williams car, which is
worst car on the
probably
grid.
I was going to say least powerful, worst car on the grid, and he's doing really well off it. So fair play to him. 2 weeks time, Barcelona sounds nice.
Yeah. That'll be. Now, anyone moaning about Miami being a boring race, don't bother watching Barcelona, because that is nearly always one to miss. Like, honestly, it's just not my thing. Tell me, am I right? Am I wrong? I don't care what you think, if I'm honest. But because we're all entitled to our opinions, I just think Barcelona is probably the one to miss. But overall, I'm quite looking forward. I'll tell you what, the Miami Grand Prix has done for me. It's made me really look forward to the Las Vegas Grand Prix next year.
Yes.
The one in Texas is always mental. Miami has brought it to another level. LA, that is going to be...
Add Las Vegas into that. That's going to be something else.
Yeah, that is going to be absolute madness. But tell us, what did you think of the Miami Grand Prix? Did you think it was a hit? Did you think it was a miss? Did you think the Dolphins brought all the porpoise that F1 has ever needed into your life? Is it gonna... Oh, I know. I don't even write these before I start the show. It's all just in my noggin. It's quite impressive and worrying. But do tell us, what did you think of the Miami Grand Prix?
And now, some more stuff from Is It Fast. Yay!
A couple of, it might even be months ago now, we brought you news from South Korean premium car manufacturer Genesis that they were bringing the GV60 to the world. And I don't know why I double repeated that like some sort of Trump speech. But we can now reveal that the Genesis GV60 has had its specs and prices revealed, which is quite exciting. So I'm just going to rattle through these, and then Stu's going to tell me why he hates this car, probably. Prices start at £47,005. So it's a very odd number. In the UK, for the entry-level premium cars, includes a 12.3-inch infotainment system, wireless phone charging, and a host of safety systems as standard. Thanks very much. All the premium models are driven by a 225 brake horsepower rear-mounted electric engine powered by a 73-kilowatt battery with a claimed range of 321 miles. Then you can go up to Sport model, gets a four-wheel drive thanks to the addition of a 99 brake horsepower electric motor to the front axle, 314 brake horsepower, and then you've got a range-topping Sport Plus, which goes all the way to a 482 brake horsepower powertrain with four-wheel drive. Genesis didn't give us much more than that, but I like it, and that's that. Now you can start to put your maths together if you want to get one. Basically, that's the news with that one.
There you go. Well, I think that's all we really need to know. Yes, certainly. What is impressing me is the rapid charging that they're talking about as part of the system for the 350, from 10% to 80% in just 18 minutes. Absolutely brilliant. Sports model capable of 292 miles on a single charge. That sounds pretty good for me. I strangely like this. This is probably going to shock you, but I actually don't mind this. Really? A little bit of a shame of the front styling. It looks like one of those the claw aliens from Toy Story. But the rest of the car looks... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah. But it does look really, really good. And because it's from the Hyundai Kia family group, it's bound to be a very good car. I really do like the distinctive kind of black and yellow color scheme. It really suits this. The bonnet appears to be quite long and a quite of a strange angle on the windshield. Looks pretty deep. However, I really do like the glass shard effect on the rims, incorporating that the bright color from the body as well. Yeah. Something we probably touched on last time as well, that like the Lexus, the luxury arm of Toyota, the Genesis are now producing kind of smaller, cheaper, more obtainable models. I like it. It's a funky style. It's going to attract buyers because it's going to have the warranty, the after-sale support that a lot of the bigger, more prestigious manufacturers just really aren't offering their clients right now. So, you know what? Well done, Genesis. Yeah. I'm going to salute this one. That's good.
Yeah, I quite like it. I think I said last time that I'd be quite interested in one of these as everybody starts to move towards electrification. And we look, internally as a family to upgrade to either plug-in hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or full electric. I
didn't realize you thought of me as family. Cheers, man.
Yeah, well, chill out. For tax reasons, I think we might have to get married. But also the Is It Fast fleet and all these other kind of things as well. It's interesting. Tell us, are you a fan of the Genesis GV60? How are your upgrade plans to EVs going, if at all? Because more and more people are obviously jumping across. Let's be completely and totally frank about it. But are enough of us jumping across to new cars or EV cars? We explore that next.
Tune into Is It Fast live every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. GMT. You are welcome.
Yes. How many of us are buying cars? This is a big question. Now, every now and again, the SMMT, which is the body that looks after that's the wrong picture. Anybody watching? Don't know why I did that. The SMMT basically release the figures for car sales, and we have had April's come in. It doesn't make attractive reading. Just gonna put that out there. So I don't know if I'm going to get people to hazard a guess. Might just actually share the statistics because they're quite. There we go. There's my generic picture of a whatever it is.
Yeah, it's definitely a car.
There you go, car show. So basically, new car registrations in April were pretty bad. The number of new cars registered in comparison with the same month last year, so April 2021, were worse, and car dealerships were closed for 11 days because we were in lockdown. So the latest figures from the SMMT, the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders, revealed that 119,167 new cars were registered across the UK last month. So April, that's down 15.8% on April 2021. That's massive. They're talking about supply chain problems chiefly being fundamentally being the issue, and a global shortage of the semiconductor components, which is also an issue for boilers, just if you didn't know. So the knock-on impact of the shortage is that manufacturers have been prioritizing delivery of vehicles to retail customers, given that you get more money for every car sold to a normal punter compared to when you sell them to fleets. So, traveling salesman or whatever it might be. So private sales climbed 4.8%, which is somewhat encouraging, but there was a massive drop in fleet registrations, 33.3%. Absolute. I mean, this isn't good reading, but as someone going through a purchasing process of a new vehicle, it puts me off. I go into a manufacturer. We've had it. This. Obviously, we talk offline. That we're in the market for a couple of new cars here, and you go in. And you go. Working example. We'll have a BMW 4 Series, please. And they go, sweet. We'll see you in 10 months. It's like you don't expect to get it overnight. I think the longest I've ever waited for a car is 3 months, and that was 2018, I think. So what are you going to do? You're not going to place an order, are you? So and evidently you're not, because numbers are down and down. Now we could wax lyrical about the wider economic impacts that people are feeling in the UK today. Energy prices are up by incredible margins. Food is up by incredible margins. People are fearful of their jobs. General household incomes are potentially, are down in comparison to what they were a year ago, etc., etc., etc. Doesn't make good viewing, though, does it?
It really doesn't. I've got to go back to one of your points. SMMT, isn't that the one with the whips and the chains and the leather?
No, that's the one that was on early morning television with Cat Deeley, and then eventually Danny Bear, and the Ant and Dec twins. Yeah.
Oh yeah, fair enough. That's good to know. Well, yeah, it's probably no shock to anybody what we're kind of saying out here. Please do stay in touch and tuned in, because we do get marginally more interesting again soon. It is the semiconductors. It is the lack of supply out there. No surprise. We do love a good figure on Is It Fast, and we're not just talking about producer Alex. So here we go. There was actually an 18% rise in demand for the fully hybrid cars. But the plug-in hybrids dropped 32%. So overall,
plug-in hybrids,
plug-in hybrids dropped 32.8%. There you go. I'm
looking at a plug-in hybrid right now. Maybe I'll get a discount.
Yeah, maybe. Overall, the electrified vehicles accounted for just shy of 28% of all the cars registered. But interestingly, used car sales climbed 5%. Prices remain at a record high due to, surprise, surprise, the short supply of the new cars that are available. 1.8 million second-hand cars changed hands in the first quarter of this year. And the average kind of used car sale value has gone up 32% as a result of this. Phenomenal for you as you're selling a car or two. Yeah. But it's not great reading for the new car sales. No,
I'll get off my kind of lefty wing socialist soapbox in a minute. Do stay tuned in if you are horribly right wing and love all that kind of stuff. There is something for you coming up. But someone once said, much brighter than me, is that the ultimate luxury is getting rid of a car that works perfectly well to replace it with a car that works perfectly well just because it's newer. And I believe that. If your car works and there's nothing wrong with it and it gets you from A to B and you can afford it, then that's all you need if you need a car. And I know that's highly hypocritical coming from a motorsport and motoring journalist. Like, I get that. Because my entire life is about new cars and new this and new everything, and but fundamentally, that's all it's about. It's like a football shirt, right? You don't need to get the latest Hibernian shirt if you've got the one because you've made your point. You've made your point. Why would you put any more money into that utter?
All right, mum. Thanks.
you know what I mean. But it's one of these things. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I am not convinced that there's going to be a recovery anytime soon. I think if you can walk in and buy a car, because you used to be able to order a car on a whim and it would arrive in about 2 months, and you'd think this, unless you're ordering like something hand built, like an Aston Martin or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But then you're good to go. But until that ability to tap into someone's dopamine. I've ordered a car, it's coming soon. And then before you know it, it's arrived. Because in 10 months, I don't want that car anymore. No. I don't want that car anymore.
You've seen how many other cars that you now want.
Exactly. Yeah. But when it arrives in a month or two from when you order it, you're a bit stuck. And then you go, okay, well, actually, that high is still there. But tell us, have you been put off ordering a car because of the length of time that it's taking to arrive with you from factory? What do you make of the figures? Were you one of the 119,000 people who registered a new car in April, and are you happy with your purchase? Please do tell us. I am quite interested to know how you feel about it.
The question that all petrol heads love to ask: C'est rapide? Is it fast? Ist schnell? We're about to talk about watches on Is It Fast?
Seamless. Yes, absolutely seamless. Welcome to TikTok, the show where we have a brief interlude and talk about watches, because watches are cool. Now, last week we celebrated a very special day as a community of nerds and not so nerdy nerds. What day was that, Stu? Just to kind of get us going.
It was May the 4th, which of course is Star Wars Day.
It was Star Wars Day. We had a great time. We found out that Stuart was very, very good at lightsaber impressions and told incredible jokes about Wookiees. Jokes that will live with me for the rest of my life. But we aren't the only dynamic duo that enjoy Star Wars. A small watch company, little-known watch company called Citizen, celebrated the fact during the week of Star Wars Day, which is why we couldn't share this with you last TikTok. They celebrated by releasing a very special set, a quadruple set of Star Wars inspired watches. I'm very interested to hear what you think about this, but just very quickly, I want to play a little game. All right.
Go on.
I think you're going to get 4 for 4, but can you tell me what Star Wars character has inspired this watch? And I know you've done your notes, but whatever.
I'm going to say this is Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. Okay. Yeah. Anybody watching live? Any advance on Darth Vader? You've got 3, 2, 1. Yes, it is Star Wars' favourite daddy that's not my daddy. It's Star Wars Mr. Vader. Darth Vader. So Citizen released this as well. You know this one.
Yeah.
This was easy.
This is a bit of a horror show, this one. Yeah, this is another Sith Lord. This is Darth Maul.
It is, yeah, Nightmare Fuel. This is Darth Maul. Absolute Nightmare Fuel. And then we've got this one here.
You know what? This character is the filthiest character in all of cinema history. Everything he says has to be bleeped out. It is R2-D2.
Is R2-D2? I enjoy that. Everything's got to be bleeped out. And then lastly...
how many millions languages of forms of communication? Over 3 million forms of communication. It's R2's slightly tall gold pal C-3PO.
Yep, it is C-3PO. Very, very good. So yes, this is the news that... thank you for indulging me there.
Which watch do I win?
Which all of them. If you write to Citizen, care of address, and include a check for $375, because that is how much one of these Suno Star Wars chronographs will set you back when they're available later in the year. We think autumn time. They're all $375 except for the R2-D2 variant, which is $350. And it is from Citizen.
So because he's weird.
It is because he's slightly... Yeah, I don't know why, actually. But yeah, these are pretty... They're like kind of bulldog chronographs. What do you think? I love these.
You know what? Yeah, just when you thought it was safe to come back on Is It Fast after Star Wars Day, Citizen, who I'm a big fan of, this is the second year that they've created a range of, to use their words, novelty Star Wars watches, which I thought was a bit harsh to call these novelty watches. Both sides of the Force have been represented. Darth Vader, Darth Maul for the dark side, and obviously kind of for the good guys, we've got C-3PO and R2-D2 with the straps and casings colors matching the members of the Star Wars universe that they're representing. Really, really like the bracelets on these. Each watch, nice kind of tight bar links on them. I'm a little bit concerned about telling the time on them. I believe the watches actually go 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3. That's going to be a bit confusing for some people watching there. They are quartz battery watches, but they are official licensed products, as we can see on the backs there, with the individual characters of the faces and the Star Wars Lucasfilm signatures. My favorites, I really, really like the Darth Vader one and the C-3PO. The C-3PO one is so subtle. I think the other two are a little bit overdone. However, I just realized that the Darth Maul one, the dials on them, the crown, the bezels on them are actually the gold color to represent his horns. That is a brilliant touch. I've just seen that. For there, and you know what? For kind of $375, yeah, I'll allow it. This is pretty cool.
So what's that? 300 quid, 320, something like that.
Yeah, about
in pounds.
Yeah, 280 ballpark. Yeah,
there you go. I agree. I think their novelty. I think you're right. I think that's doing themselves a disservice. They'll be good. They'll be great watches. I'm with you. I like the Vader or the C-3PO. Just because they're not as in your face.
Yeah.
The other two. Oh, you could get them in a packet of Cocoa Pops, or a Happy Meal at a push, and I'm, that's nothing against the quality. I'm sure they're fine, but it's just purely on visuals. I think C-3PO and the Darth Vader would be, but fair play. Like people buy these, whenever it is later in the year, and it's quite a Star Wars heavy year. Not long now until the Obi-Wan Kenobi thing on Disney.
That'll be good.
And obviously they've had the Boba Fett kind of stuff and all the rest of it. So, yes, fair play. But there we go on TikTok. The quadruple set. You go for it.
Yeah. I was going to say, before we move on, since you've quizzed me, can I quiz you? What is R2-D2 short for?
I don't know.
Because he's got wee legs.
Oh, God.
Yes!
I thought we were done. What is very good, annoyingly good, in fact.
So you're right for calling me old and slacking my football team. There you go.
I should always remember that it comes back around. There's not really much I can do to get away with that. But the quadruple set from Citizen tell us, are you interested in buying a novelty? Their words, not ours. A novelty Star Wars watch. I think, actually, do you know what? I think they're actually very, very, very good. I'll be honest with you.
It's 7 p.m. It's a Wednesday. Must be time for Is It Fast?
Time traveling Stu there. It's not 7 p.m. anymore, is it? Silly boy. But that does summon the end of our show. And we do always like to finish our shows with a little bit of either information, something to make you laugh, something to make you cry, sometimes something to make you wince, which is never good. But we thought, do you know what? Given the fact that we are on quite a factual dent this show, why not finish up with something slightly more factual? So you were doing your hard-pressed research, presumably on the toilet and on the Daily Mail, which tends to be where we get these. Was it you call it the sidebar of shame? Is that the? That's
it. Yeah,
that's the one. Amazing. But actually, do you know what? You brought me something that didn't make me immediately want to tear my eyeballs out. This is news. We finish with news that you could theoretically now get one of London's most exclusive parking spaces. If you are wealthy enough. Can you guess how much this parking space? Now, if you're listening, this doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'll tell you the dimensions in a minute. This can only be described as the parking equivalent of a broom cupboard. The image that has been shared of this parking space, which was provided by someone on the Daily Mail, the Mustang, 1970 whatever Mustang, so they're pretty big cars anyway. You could get yourself a 6.6 foot wide parking space, which is not wide, in London. For how much, Stu?
For £85,000.
85 grand. So that's a parking space that is just 2 meters wide, is up for sale in Knightsbridge in London, which is pretty much the home of Harrods. It's just enough room for the average car to squeeze into. The garage is near Harrods. It's not a Harrods. It's not at Harrods. Just got to make that completely clear. It could be yours for £7. It looks mental, doesn't it? And anyone that can afford this and lives in or around London is going to be driving a Range Rover or something. Let's all be honest with each other. It's absolutely there. It is. You can see there. Just kind of. It's not alone either. You'd have two wee tiny parking spaces for your pals and all. You could share. I mean, what was this at one point? It couldn't have been a like. Do we know what the providence of this is?
Probably just spacing, and then somebody thought, "Wait a minute, yeah, this is absolutely mental." It's basically sandwiched between two very thick walls.
No one can hear you scream.
Not far off it. The parking space is probably going to be more expensive than the car that's going to go in it. You have to realize that it's kind of just shy of 2 meters wide. The average UK car is about 1.8, 1.9 meters wide.
Yeah,
a heck of a lot of the cars that drive around London or are going to be able to afford the space are not going to be able to fit in that. But since it is London, give it a week, someone will chuck a bed in there and call it a flat. Probably try and charge you like 1.2 million. What is very interesting, 2 meters wide, and I got my shoes and socks off to do this one. So 2 meters wide and 1.5 meters long. It's roughly 118 square feet. So that is £720 per foot square space.
Wow. Welcome to London, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That is a savage, isn't it?
It truly is. And let's be honest, for that kind of money, you could probably just park in the street and pay the fines. It'll be cheaper in the long run.
People do that, man. I've seen it much, particularly around Harrods. Like they just
the parked or abandoned approach that we see so much of. Yeah. It's probably ideal if you own like a Peel P50, but you didn't see many of them running around London, to be fair.
No, not anymore. But there you go, 85 grand for a parking space in Knightsbridge, which is, of course, famously home to Harrods and Harvey Nichols and others. I'm sure many, many nice bougie places. I must say, Harvey Nichols over Harrods. Harvey Nicks. Just if you're in that zone, they've got Harvey Nicks in London, which is right down the road from Harrods. They've got a great cocktail bar on the 5th floor.
Oh,
Stu's top tip. But there you go.
I would also want to chuck in there Iceland over farm foods. Thank you.
Oh dear, the class on this show knows no bounds. I mean, you are right though.
Yeah.
Do you know? I was about to go off on one on Iceland because I walked into an Iceland the other day because I was in the range, and I didn't realise that in Iceland they sell Greggs stuff, like frozen Greggs stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But see, I never go to a Greggs, not for any other reason other than I'm not really ever near one. And it's a real treat when I do go. I absolutely love them when I do go. I think everything's brilliant. But now you can get it in Iceland and you could keep them in the freezer for emergencies. So there you go.
Guarantee yourself a hot sausage roll every time.
We've gone from Harrods to frozen Iceland. Frozen Greggs stuff from Iceland. I mean, if anything says we're not the people for Harrods, it's that.
It really does. Yeah.
But 85 grand for a parking space that isn't really a parking space in Knightsbridge in central London. Is that the world gone mad? Or do you think that given the price of real estate in the centre of England's capital, is that good value? Tell us in the comments.
They haven't even put a charging point in it yet. That's going to affect the value.
Where the hell are you going to fit that? That is just never going to happen.
You know what? It's absolutely mental. They've actually described it jokingly as like, oh, you might have to climb out the sunroof. The car they've put in there does not have a sunroof. How does the driver get out? He must have physically had to shove that car in to take that picture.
Yeah, kind of roll it back in. Absolute nightmare. But that does bring our show to a conclusion. Please do tell us what you thought of it, unless it's negative, in which case... don't bother. But as always, thank you very much for tuning in live. Thank you very much for tuning in with your ears or your eyeballs, depending on which one you have done. We appreciate it. Make sure you do follow us on your social media platform of choice to make sure you don't just keep up to date with what we do here absolutely live, but also we do release lots of lovely, interesting, fun stuff. We have interviews galore. We do live highlights, all sorts of stuff in the world of motorsport, automotive, and of course we talk about watches and anything else we can pretty much get our hands on as well. Just a little nod. This is our second to last show of the season, which I know some of you will be disappointed about. I know it's not great. But don't worry, because the next week, next week is going to be the final show of season 4. Then we take a 2-week break, and then we are back. There's going to be a lot to cover, but don't worry, you're not going to have nothing at all to keep you busy. Just to let you know, the final show of this season is one to behold, isn't it, Stu? It is absolutely incredible. If you're watching us, what you're watching now is not that. But the we have got an I won't ruin it, but we've got an absolute living legend of the automotive motorsport world that is on the show. Do we leave some breadcrumbs, some hints why people should tune in next week? I think so.
I think that's only fair.
Shall we? We have got a man that has been so instrumental in the development of motorsport in both the UK, Europe, and also most impressive. Well, all of it was impressive, but impressively in the United States with some of the biggest. He's worked with some of the biggest names in motorsport. He is one of the biggest names in motorsport, and we were incredibly proud to have him on the show. So it is part of our Indy 500 build-up. Make sure you do tune in, and make sure that you do head over to our our website, and our social media platforms to catch up with that. It will be live at 7 p.m. next Wednesday, so make sure that you do that, and make sure you head over to the website because we had Mr. Michael Creasy Crease on the show. We went over to his local pub and interviewed him in the pub with a beer. It was great. Make sure you head over and catch that interview as well, which is currently playing on your screens if you're watching us. Incredible insight into the world of BTCC and hybrid. But that's my sales pitch done. Thank you very much for watching and listening to the show today. It was particularly informative, which we don't often do. But as always, thank you to other Stu for being such a good sport and waiting until we go off air to give me a ticking off for how mean I've been to him.
No, all fantastic fun, mate. Really enjoyed it once again. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you everyone for listening and tuning in, and thanks for everyone who's participated in Series 4. It's been a delight. Now remember, is it fast? We are to motorsport what Braille is to karaoke. Thank you.
I am here in Dubai for the 2021 XCAT World Championship.
Hey, Cameron Steele here, racing the 2022 King of the Hammers.
Welcome to TikTok, the show where we review things that go on your wrist and tell the time.
Everything took a creepy turn suddenly.
Not that creepy.